our love for the party and commitment to its values. Thank you for being part of our journey towards a better future. I want to express my sincere appreciation to the party's rank and file for their discipline and hard work in organizing the widely acclaimed, peaceful, and transparent presidential and parliamentary primaries. I commend your efforts, and I expect all parliamentary candidates and party executives to take immediate action by reaching out to all unsuccessful aspirants and form formidable constituency campaign teams to guarantee our party retains its majority in the 10th Parliament. Failure to do so is not an option. It is time to put aside all differences and come together. Let us bridge every gap, heal every wound, and work together with a renewed passion for victory. Remember, when we stand united, we are unstoppable. So, let's join hands and search or march in unity towards a resounding first round victory on December 7th. Having said this, it is indeed possible. I don't want to take the wind out of the sail of our flag bearer, so thank you for listening, and I leave the floor. Thank you.
I think we could do it better. Another round of applause for our honorable chairman. He is popularly called Ghana's gentle giant. He ruled from 2000 to 2008. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we now invite the most revered former president of Ghana for his message.
Your Excellency, our beautiful First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo, Your Excellency, the Vice President, the man of the moment, Mahamudu Bawumia, and our Second Lady, party elders, party members, Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, our revered chiefs and queen mothers, and all of the citizens of Ghana watching this program, whether from within these halls or from outside. I have come to bear witness to the candidate who is being inaugurated today. I have always seen him as a man of destiny. When I first saw him, and that was about 2002, he was just a research assistant to the governor of the Central Bank, and in faraway London. This young man delivered a paper at an international conference of giants from the city of London, the financial world, and some very powerful people of government. And immediately he finished his address, he was going to sit down, but there was something in his statement and about him. I was president of Ghana then. In fact, till then I hadn't even spoken with him ever before. But I sent somebody, I think one of the officers with me, go and call me that young man. He came, I congratulated him, and I don't know what came in me. Prophetically, I told him, carry on like that, and you'll go far. Then, 2008, as I was stepping down and the party had chosen President, then candidate Akufo-Addo, who later became president, somehow Akufo-Addo picked this same young man to be his running mate. Till then, Bawumia was not even in the main stream of party. He was a party man, all right, but behind the scenes. So he picked him, and of course there were some surprises. People expressed misgivings. I thought of it, and then at a party meeting in the Aliza Hotel, I remember my first meeting with this young man in London, and what I told him. Then it dawned on me again to more or less prophesy. I appealed to the party just to accept this man to carry on, man of destiny. Today we've all gathered here to launch him as our presidential candidate for 2024 election for president of Ghana. As I said, our love for the party and commitment have come to bear witness that this man definitely is on a mission determined by destiny. And please, let's all accept him to continue. We happen to be living in times where the whole world is in a flux. Leadership is very, very scarce. Quality leadership. If anybody aspires to be a leader without command of the new technologies like digitalization, and also without a deep grasp of geopolitics, I tell you, he may be a good man in terms of mastering some of the old disciplines like, say, economics, politics, and all that. But I tell you, very likely he may be found wanting sooner than later. This young man here seems to have these instruments under his belt: digitalization, geopolitics, and additionally, we've seen him perform loyally under President Akufo-Addo, and he's been also in public view since he got selected as the vice presidential candidate in 2008. He's hallmarked by humility and the temperance requisite for the job of leading a nation in search of a way forward. Ghana has come to a crossroads, and I'm serious here. It's not the normal, regular politics we want. We want a leadership with a vision, even in the complex world I've talked about. A leader that would be able to marshal the new technologies, to pick the requisite manpower. And here, allow me, I'm a party man soundly, But I tell you, we should be talking about the nation and not so much about the party. We must get people of competence to work with him to find our way out of the confusion our society and economy have been plunged into. I wouldn't blame any side. Look at the track records of all the parties. I tell you, you can't find one that can say that in their time they were excellent or superb. No. We are in a new situation, and I believe the saying that cometh the man is now. Has come for this man. And I like the theme that is posted against the wall. Look at behind the lectern there. Bold solutions for the future. Without the preparations I've talked about, understanding the new technologies and knowing and really committed to your nation to secure a decent and dignified niche in the global context for your nation. That is geopolitics. Without them, I tell you, we will continue to wallow. So I'm witnessing that it seems, look at the field of the arena presidency now, it seems this man, destiny for this time, Ghana. I'm appealing to the whole nation to give him the chance to come. I have a feeling, I have a very strong feeling, he is truly the man of the moment and Ghana must accept him. So this is it. Thank you very much.
A big round of applause for His Excellency the former President, John Ajekum Kufuor. And that's a handshake of blessing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost ready to receive the leader as he delivers his vision statement. Ahead of that though, Ghanaians have been expressing some expectations. Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost ready to receive the leader as he delivers his vision statement. Ahead of that though, Ghanaians have been expressing some expectations.
The government has for the last few years aggressively put in place measures to make possible the Vice President's digitization drive.
There are certain things that ought to be in place in Ghana to be able to bring interest rates down on a sustainable basis. You need to make sure that everybody... Ghanaians eagerly await Dr. Bawumia's address on Ghana's next chapter. Expectations are high for bold solutions and a visionary roadmap for the future. People across the country are looking forward to the speech. Let's get on the street and find out.
My expectation as a student is that we need more jobs in the country, because as students there are a lot of unemployment in the country, and also there's a lot of brain drains in the country whereby students are traveling to seek greener pastures elsewhere. And it doesn't really help boost or improve the economy of Ghana.
Ahead of Dr. Bawumia's speech on Wednesday, I'm expecting to see bold solutions. It's been 32 years of Ghana's fourth democracy, and we have not really seen any bold solutions.
Me expect to say, taisi no ebe ba fom. Na yesu ye ko jasua. Na yesu ye nyama tonu. Na eba maye. Na aditonu yesu ya nya kakra ewo so. Oma life no enye comfortable maye. Ema ye nkrofo ene ye adwuma kitinkiti no otumi ekosro esuma yesu.
Jemi person amete free Dr. Bawumia na no say adwuma one na na adwuma pa o maye no obeto aso nti say free education law require ene no mansu no omtwetwepo ene light eno na minya ne mmom di nya me pa o makoma mu ne say obeka de oba onu so beye yempesa obeye promise di obetumi ayama yen no onmeka say na beye Ghana for ye nyina so ye ne beje.
Dr. Bawumia, when you were capital free, ke program free, ke music free,
koni ke enyeche bi price na yawo koni ke wo wa nutumo efinyefi easy yawo koni wo se kola bi we amawo enyefi easy yawo
ancha today la bana gona tinyala munya ndi fila zampa Ghana economy wa polo ka tin yo drivers 3 years ni o fila polo resident ta kama wa dama pa polo and because they kunya tijala mo sem le tijala kini tutuma wane ncha o ile they o fila zampa kama no tine wa da de blogi invention ate ka to tutuma wa ka tin passengers ye mo srakani zampa la charge my charge na nyari yon son ka pam.
Between 2017 and now, the government of Ghana has executed tens of thousands of projects across the length and breadth of this country. We have used the taxpayers' money to deliver on public goods and services. And the time has come to tell the story and the detail of that story of what has been executed so far.
Of the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation.
We have taken the production of aquaculture from 4,000 to over 6,000 metric tons.
We have worked very hard to make it possible for Ghana to become the headquarters of the Africa Continental Free Trade. We've done a lot. We've completed several years uncompleted Bekwai Hospital.
We've also found new oil in the Jubilee Southeast, pumping around 30,000 new barrels of oil to help increase our revenue base as a country.
The government, since 2017, has constructed over 40 kilometers of drains.
The Tamale Airport is now an international airport. We have upgraded it to
for parliamentary candidates, former presidential aspirants, members of the diplomatic corps, religious leaders, traditional leaders, CEOs present, invited guests, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. 3 months ago, I was elected as leader and flag bearer of the new patriotic party to lead the party into the 2024 election. I am eternally grateful to His Excellency the President, Nana Addo Dankwa, me the opportunity to serve as Vice President. 11 days ago, the party also completed its election of parliamentary candidates for the 2024 elections. Let me use this opportunity to also appreciate the leadership and grassroots of our beloved party, the NPP, for the seamless organization of the parliamentary primaries following on the I believe the time has now come for me to speak to you, the good people of Ghana, about my candidature, what we have experienced as a nation, my vision and priorities, and why I believe I am the best candidate for the presidency of this country. I recognize that submitting myself to your from interviewing for a job, one needs to tell a prospective employer what he has accomplished in his previous job and how he can successfully deliver in the new position he is seeking, which is what I seek to do in this speech. Even though tonight is about sharing my vision and policy priorities, I crave your indulgence to broadly set up the context. I will first talk about the record of our government and my contribution as Vice President before I lay out my vision. So I ask for your patience. Ladies and gentlemen, when we assumed office in 2017, we were confronted with an economy with declining economic growth, along with several problems and challenges. A graphic description of the state of the economy at the time was provided by the former president and my main opponent for the 2024 presidential election, who announced to the nation that the meat was finished and the economy was left with bones. Notwithstanding the difficult economy we inherited, we had to get on with it and start to fix the problems. We started with a clear, decisive, and deliberate program to, among other things, stabilize the economy, fix DUMSO, fix the National Health Insurance Scheme, fix the roads, clear the arrears, make education free and accessible, significantly enhance social protection for the vulnerable in society, industrialize our economy, tackle youth unemployment, and empower farmers. Between 2017 and 2019, all the key economic indicators, such as economic growth, agricultural growth, industry growth, interest rates, the fiscal deficit, exchange rate depreciation, and the trade balance were all moving in the right direction. However, between 2020 and 2022, we experienced severe challenges triggered by the pandemic, which brought the world and our country to a thundering halt. We may be tired of hearing it, but there is no avoiding the fact that the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war resulted in the greatest economic depression in the world since the 1930s, with most countries recording negative GDP growth. The severity, especially of the pandemic, was captured in the words of the IMF managing director, then as, and I quote, "This crisis, like no other. This is a crisis like no other. Pandemics don't respect borders. Neither do the economic shocks they cause. The outlook is dire. We expect global economic activity to decline to a scale we have not seen since the Great Depression." End quote. Supply chain disruptions and rising price of oil resulted in major increases in the prices of fuel, freight, and food across the globe. I believe it is worth pointing out that in addition to the external factors, there were two major items of expenditure that are critical to understanding the difficult economic situation we have faced. And these are the banking sector cleanup and the energy sector excess capacity payments that we inherited. Expenditure on these three items, including the COVID-19 expenditure, cumulatively amounted to 50.1 billion Ghana cedis, and this was financed from borrowing. Ladies and gentlemen, the fiscal deficit, which was reduced from 8.4% to 4.1% in 2019, increased to 10.8% in 2020 as a result of revenue declines in the midst of increased expenditures during COVID. In addition, our debt became unsustainable. Along with many emerging economies, Ghana lost access to international capital market financing. This resulted in a balance of payments crisis as Ghana had to continue to honor its debt obligations, energy payments, and the import bill. We faced a serious global and domestic economic crisis. There were many who predicted that we were going to end up like the situation in Sri Lanka, with fuel shortages, food shortages, inability to pay workers, doomsday, anarchy, and chaos. Indeed, Ghanaians were hit hard by rising food prices, increased exchange rate depreciation, and rising fuel prices and rising transportation fares. Bond holders also saw a sharp decline in their net worth following the painful debt restructuring program. We faced very challenging times, but with calm leadership and the support and understanding of the good people of Ghana, we have weathered the storm. The government had to seek IMF support to stabilize our economy and restore fiscal and debt sustainability over 3 years. I must at this stage salute and give particular recognition to the Bank of Ghana, which has come under unfair criticism for taking the necessary measures which help pull the economy back from the brink. The Bank of Ghana provided needed financing to the government at that critical moment. What the Bank of Ghana did was very responsible. in putting the interest of the good citizens of Ghana first. The data which is available shows that the financing provided to the government by the Bank of Ghana was temporary. The Bank of Ghana has provided zero financing to government in 5 out of the last 7 years. Zero financing in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2021, and 2023. The Bank of Ghana financing of government in the COVID-19 year of 2020 and the liquidity crisis year of 2022 was because of the domestic and global crisis, with underperforming revenue and no access to international capital markets. Ladies and gentlemen, the good news is that the data shows that the economy is recovering from the crisis we faced. Inflation has declined from 54% in January last year to 23% in December 2023. Economic growth is rebounding, spending is under control, and the fiscal deficit as a percentage of GDP has declined from 10.8% in 2020 to 4.2% in 2023. The debt to GDP ratio, after increasing from 61.2% in 2019 to 76.6% in 2021, has declined to 66.4% in 2023. And the exchange rate depreciation has also slowed down sharply since February 2023. Whereas the exchange rate depreciated by 30% in 2022, between February and December 2023, the exchange rate depreciated by only 9%. Ladies and gentlemen, what is remarkable is that notwithstanding the domestic and global crisis that we have experienced between 2020 and 2022, the economic performance as measured by the key economic indicators such as GDP growth, agricultural growth, industry growth, trade balance, exchange rate depreciation, lending rates, gross international reserves, and jobs. The performance of all these key indicators is better under our government than that of the 2013 to 2016 period, when there was no global crisis. Let me give you 2 examples for the sake of time. You look at agricultural growth, and the stronger GDP growth performance in 2017 to 2022 period is underpinned by a strong agricultural GDP growth, which increased from an average of 2.9% between 2013 and 2016 to an average of 6% between 2017 and 2022. We have done double what we inherited, notwithstanding the crisis. We have made a lot of progress in agriculture, even though there is more to be done. Rice imports, for example, have declined by 45%, from 805,000 metric tons to 440,000 metric tons between 2021 and 2023. The goal is to be a net exporter of rice by 2028. It is clear that some of our policy interventions, such as planting for food and jobs, have borne fruit. I now tackle exchange rate depreciation. On the performance of the cedi exchange rate, it is also interesting to note that between 2013 and 2016, just before we came into office, the cedi depreciated by an average of 17.7% annually. But since 2016, between 2017 and 2020, there was a significant decline in cedi depreciation to an average of 7.5%. The average cedi depreciation further declined to 6.8% between 2017 and 2021. However, the 30% depreciation of the cedi in 2022 resulted in the average depreciation of the cedi between 2017 and 2022 to be 10.75%. So again, notwithstanding the domestic and global economic crisis, the depreciation of the cedi under our government is lower than that we inherited from the 2013 to 2016 period. Let me talk about jobs. What is probably the most remarkable development in terms of the economy is that our government has created 2.1 million jobs between 2017 and 2022, notwithstanding the global economic crisis. The public sector recruited 1.2 million people, while the private sector created 975,000 jobs, according to SNIT data. We recruited 100,000 more health workers, 100,000 more teachers. We more than doubled the fire service personnel, and so on. Our government clearly has created more jobs in the last 7 years than any other government in the Fourth Republic. This is truly remarkable under the circumstances, even though we still have to create more jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, clearly, notwithstanding the economic crisis, this government has been able to steer the ship of the nation away from catastrophe. In the face of the crisis, overall performance of the economy in areas such as GDP growth, agricultural growth, industrial growth, trade balance, gross international reserves, and job creation has demonstrated resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, available data also shows that notwithstanding the challenging economy we inherited and the global economic crisis that ensued, government has chalked a large number of achievements across the country. Due to the constraints of time, I will only be able to enumerate a few of these achievements. However, government will soon outdoor our performance tracker in the next few weeks, which will detail all of our achievements in every sector and every district in the Republic of Ghana. But I'll name just a few of the achievements. We have undertaken a major roads construction and rehabilitation program across the country, over 11,674 kilometers of roads according to data from the Ministry of Roads and Highways. I am not aware of any government that has done as much in the road sector since 1992. We have initiated and overseen the construction and rehabilitation of more railways than any other government since 1992. Achimota in Sawam, Accra, Tema, Kojokrom Takwa, Kojokrom Manso, and Tema Mpakada. We have extended the rural telephony network to more areas than any other government since 1992. We have increased the network from 78 sites to 1,008 sites. We have constructed more fish landing sites than any other government. Exim, Dix Cove, Moree, Mumford, Teshi, Keta, Osu, Ekumfi, and Mfansiman. Ladies and gentlemen, our government has constructed more sports facilities than any other government since 1992. We have completed 6 new multi-purpose sports stadia and 4 ongoing in each of the 10 regions, 10 old regions. We completed the University of Ghana Stadium in Legon, built constructed more infrastructure and implemented more development policies in the Zongo communities than any other government since '92. The Zongo Development Fund has completed over 200 infrastructure projects in Zongo communities. We have also extended NHIS coverage to childhood cancers and hydroxyurea medicine for sickle cell patients. Ladies and gentlemen, we provided free electricity to Lifeline consumers and a 50% discount to other consumers for a whole year during COVID-19. It is important, and it is very important that you hear this, that between 2009 and 2016, the average annual increase in the electricity tariffs was 50% a year between 2009 and 2016. Average annual increase was 50% a year. Between 2017 and 2023, on the other hand, the average annual increase has been 11.1%. This is the lowest average annual increase in end user. Gentlemen, I want to go digital now. were elected into office in December 2016 to solve many of the systemic problems and challenges that our citizens were facing, and which we had highlighted in our manifesto. For example, there was no unique identity, no property address system, fake birth certificates, and so on. We had lived with many of these problems since independence. For me, to lead is to solve. Indeed, all my adult life, my biggest motivation is about finding solutions. Solutions that improve lives. Solutions that make public services efficient and accessible. Solutions that make society progress. Solutions that protect the public purse. Solutions that make our businesses competitive. I derive my greatest satisfaction from solving problems, and I have done so whenever I am given the opportunity, and will do more if I am given the mandate to do so. I had long held the view that many of these problems facing the economy could be resolved through digitalization. In fact, in my 2010 book on monetary policy and financial sector reform in Africa, I proposed digitalization, amongst others, as the way forward for African countries. So when we assumed office in 2017, as Vice President, I made the decision, with the blessings and support of the President, to focus on the critical but underdeveloped systems that would expand the economy, improve systems, and create jobs through digitalization. Therefore, as the Finance Minister oversees the budget through fiscal policy, the Governor of the Central Bank also focused on monetary and exchange rate policy. I focused on the complementary data and systems improvement that would ensure the ease of doing business and change the fundamentals of the economy, making it more dynamic and responsive to modern trends, and the management of it more scientific and efficient. Ladies and gentlemen, I was thankfully appointed as chairman of the economic management team. As a subcommittee to cabinet, we do not have any decision-making powers, but I am very proud of the quality of advice we have been providing over the years to cabinet. As Vice President, I was asked by the President to assist in solving some of the problems that were inhibiting the transformation of Ghana's economy. My approach was to help formalize the economy through digitalization, as stated in our 2016 manifesto. This is why my office has had oversight responsibility for many of the government's digitalization projects. We can only build a vibrant nation if we have strong systems and institutions that work. Very soon, artificial intelligence will transform the world. How are we preparing Ghana for this new phenomenon? I will now come to how we are using digitalization to transform the economy and preparing our society to be competitive, as Africa is busily becoming the largest single market in the world with its 1.4 billion people. Ladies and gentlemen, a major problem that we had as a country was the absence of a unique identity for citizens and residents. With oversight from my office, the National Identification Authority moved very quickly with the issuance of the biometric national ID cards, the Ghana card, to the population. The Ghana card project was initiated by President Kufuor. So far, some 17 million people have been enrolled on the Ghana card by the NIA. I would like to note that between 2007 and 2016, only 900,000 Ghana cards were issued. With the Ghana card, the identity of the people, even dead people, can be established using their fingerprints. With the Ghana card, every Ghanaian, regardless of locations or status, whether rich or poor, now can be officially registered and recognized as a Ghanaian. Before this, it was possible for someone to be born, live, and die in Ghana without ever being registered. Identity fraud, age cheating, football age, people cheating on their retirement age, fake birth certificates, fake passports will no longer be possible with the Ghana card. Today, because your Ghana card is linked to your bank account and your SIM card, people cannot just go and borrow money from the bank and disappear and appear with a new name as used to happen. And this led to higher interest rates. The Ghana card can also be used to travel from abroad into Ghana from 44,000 airports in the world. The Ghana card is a major element in many of the digitalization initiatives that we are undertaking. That is why its successful implementation has been so important to me. Ladies and gentlemen, to solve the problem of a lack of a working address system in Ghana, with oversight from my office, we have leveraged on GPS technology to implement a digital address system for Ghana, capturing every square inch of land or water in Ghana. Today, every property in Ghana has a unique digital address, along with street names and house numbers. And finding directions to any location is now very easy. Ladies and gentlemen, we faced a major problem of a very few people having access to financial services. To solve this problem, I championed the implementation of mobile money interoperability. Mobile money interoperability has made it possible to transfer money seamlessly across different mobile money providers and between bank accounts and mobile wallets. Today, because of mobile money interoperability, you can transfer money from a customer of one mobile money service provider to a customer of a different mobile money service provider, and also make payments from your mobile money account into any bank account. And you can receive payments from any bank account into your mobile money account. Ladies and gentlemen, you can do this 24 hours a day. Apart from achieving financial inclusion, mobile money interoperability has also significantly promoted a cashless culture, especially by our market women and the business community, thus reducing robberies and attacks on market women and business folks on our highways. Armed robbers used to attack vehicles carrying traders, knowing they were carrying cash. But now, many traders don't carry cash because they keep their monies on their mobile wallets for seamless transactions wherever they are. Today, because of mobile money interoperability, you can also receive remittances from abroad directly onto your mobile wallet without the need to go to a bank or Western Union money transfer. Because the mobile money account performs just like a bank account, as a result of mobile money interoperability, over 90% of Ghanaian adults have mobile money accounts that function just like